Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, you have landed on GingerChickRehab, where I love to go thrifting. I love to look for secondhand finds that I can repurpose to resell or just decorate my own home with. So in today's video, that is what we are doing. And actually, I have thrifted some critters, some cute little critters that I want to make over and share with you all. So I've actually had this one longer than I would care to share with you, that I just was unsure. I just like, do I sell it as is? Is this the color it was? Was it faded? I don't really know, but he just looks like a ghostly moose to me. So I finally made a decision to get him painted up. So we're gonna get him washed down. Yeah, I don't even know how long I've had this moose, but I just had to finally decide what I was going to do with it. So we're going to start off by cleaning it, letting it dry, and then I'm going to spray a nice primer coat of enamel flat black spray paint and cover the whole item up. A lot of times when I'm painting resin pieces like this, I will go in and do a primer coat like this because the Rust-Oleum spray paints really seem to adhere to resins and plastics and metals really well. So I want to make sure that my paint is going to stay on. When I think of a moose, I think of brown. So I'm going to use some Sweet Pickins milk paint in the color Suitcase. And you can just mix up just a little bit. So I'm just going to do a couple spoonfuls, a little bit more than a couple spoonfuls of water, and just mix it up and let it sit until it thickens. And then we're going to get him painted up. You just gotta look at his face. Is he not too cute? Even just painted black, I think he looks so much better. Kind of reminds me of Bullwinkle. Now, even though some of the details are already black, like his hooves and his antlers, I'm still going to go in with some of the lantern milk paint and just paint over that. I use that as a primer color. I probably didn't have to if you don't want to, but I'm having fun painting. Now that my first coat is dry, I'm going to go back in with my second coat. I am not trying to get, push it into those little detailed areas. I just want to get most of him brown. As you see, there's a lot of little cuts in it, little different textures, and I just want to darken it up. And I really like this brown on black combination. And I know, like, the nostrils, the lips, the collar, I could have made black also, but, you just kind of paint where you think it should be. I did leave that little tuft of hair on the top and his eyes black also, but, yeah, it's just a personal preference of how you want to, paint, what you want to paint. So I'm just going to use the heat of the heat gun to see if I get any crackling. I don't really think I will, but it'll just help dry the paint faster. Then sometimes you just know when you're done. I don't think he needs any wax. I don't think he needs any distressing, but that milk paint does need to be sealed in, and so I'm using some weather defense, the metal one, just for outdoor use in case somebody wants to put him back outdoors. So this rocking horse was picked up as a garage sale on the last day of the sale, the 50% off sale. So I believe I got him for like $4. But he's a rocking horse. I know he's not your average rocking horse. He's kind of like a workhorse rocking horse. And then somebody either cut his mane and tail or that's how it was. I'm not really sure. His mane and tail are kind of like that substance that you would wrap hay with. I don't know what that is called, but it's very stiff. If I would have to guess, I would say this was a homemade piece. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start separating his mane, trying to get, like, somehow there's some knots in there and there's some longer pieces that might need to be cut later on. But right now I just want to get any of the gunk out. And it's kind of he already has a crackle paint that I'm not going to try to sand and make smooth by any means. There's a lot of curves and we're just going to work with it. I'm going to give it a nice primer coat with an enamel spray paint also, and I'm actually going to do its mane and tail. I just think that's the color. By the time I finish this, I don't know if we need to change the color of the mane and tail so he doesn't look like that straw. So because he is so stocky, I'm considering him a workhorse. So I'm going to go ahead and try to braid this little tuft of hair at his backside. And I think it just really got spray painted. You know, my hands are already a mess. So I'm just going to go ahead and braid what he has because that's what it reminds me of is when they're having the workhorses. They're all like ready with their gear on. They do that a lot. They cut their tails down. So I don't know. We're going for that. I'll go back in and I'll do a little haircut here and there, a little snippet of any ones that are long or poking out. Know what y'all think, but I already think he looks so much better all in black. But I still think we can do better. I'm just having fun playing with his hair. So because of the stockiness and the black hair, I kind of have this leather look in my mind. And I'm hoping that I can get some of the crackling that was previously there to come through. So I'm going to start off with Fusion's Chocolate Brown and just start off with this underside because I don't want to forget that part. As of right now, I'm going to leave the rocking part as is, but we're just going to go ahead and start, you kind of just have to start painting and playing and seeing what pieces and parts you want to paint or if you're like, yeah, I don't like that, I'm going to cover that back up. At first I thought I was going to leave some hooves and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't really like that because it's not really like the hoof side is on the inside, but it's not on the outside. So I guess that wasn't quite the brown I was looking for. It's got that leather look to it, but I still would like to add some more age. So I still had some of the Suitcase milk paint left from doing the mousse. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not totally in love with it. I love it, but I would like some more dimension to it. So I think adding this on top is really going to give it that real leathery look. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple coats of this and see how this turns out. Oh, I'm liking this a lot better. I like that perfectly imperfect of the milk paint on this piece. I'm just going to go ahead and give a light coat just on the rocking part. I don't want that to be so crisp black. I know the mane and tail are going to end up being, because it'll only take so much paint into that material. But I thought, well, just a little bit to tone this black down. But I do love the milk paint. And I like it over the chocolate. I think that's really what's giving it that pop. And you do see the dimension from the crackle that was on the piece originally, but you also see the crackle that happened when the milk paint was applied. So I'm going to bring that out just a little bit more using some of the Jolie's black wax. Oh my gosh, y'all, it is just really going to bring out the imperfections, the thing that is really making this piece look like it's been around for many years. I do feel like I need to give him some eyes, so I'm just taking the back of a paintbrush and just trying to really guesstimate where a horse's eyes would be, just a little bitty of a dot, hopefully size appropriate. Now I have this metal piggy, and I got him upside down because I love the rust on him. So I'm trying to see if I can add some patinas to blend all the rust together to make it look like that rust was done on purpose by the manufacturer, or by me, because it's awesome. It's just totally awesome. So I'm using some of the Finnabair's patina. This is the soot or coal black, I think it's called now. My tube is a little older. I think they changed the name. But anyway, so this is just going to add that kind of that dirt age to it. And it's a big piece. And I'm just using a stencil brush from the Dollar Tree store. I like those. They just really get that in there. So this is what I'm doing, is just going to be layering some of the patinas on top of each other until I achieve the look that I like. So now I have some of the blue patina I'm adding on top of that. And so the bottom of the pig was my tester piece. Like, I'm just going to keep laying until I like it. It's a wax on, wax off. You can always paint it over if you totally hate it. Well, I didn't mind the bottom, but I do think that the sides that have been more exposed to the weather and the top are going to react differently. So, yep, I'm just going to town. And really, a little dab of this goes a long way. You think, oh my gosh, she's going to use the whole tube. No, not by any means. It goes a really long way. So, I'm like, okay, do I wipe it off each time? Do I layer it on top of each? It's just all about playing. I just want it to not look like it was an old weathered piece. I could have sprayed it and just sealed it all in, but there was something that just needed something a little more. Back into my arsenal of patinas I go, now that I have the whole entire side down, and I have some I have some more rust. So I'm like, okay, I've got that look that I'm going for. It looks like it's fresh paint, not bleached out by the sun and weather paint. So I'm just going to be using, like, this is the rust dust itself. I love this stuff. And where you put it is where it's going to be. And see how it's just blending it all in. Just giving it this is the way that it was made. This is the way it was supposed to be kind of look. There's nothing wrong with layering patinas. We layer paints until we achieve the look that we're looking for. Sometimes we don't necessarily know the look we're looking for until we've achieved it. In case you don't think you see a difference, oh yeah, y'all, there's a huge difference. So there's nothing wrong with not like totally painting an item, just layering the patinas, just these simple patinas, just changing the look just slightly to give it that I kind of look new, but I'm not new kind of look. After I got it the way that I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and seal that all in. And I know it may not be this huge, huge difference, but for me, I can see the difference. My next one may not be a critter, but pet rock is definitely a pet rock. Oh my gosh, I fell in love with him at that yard sale. Oh my gosh, I'm like, I don't care that he's sun-plated. I don't care that he's dirty. I can clean him up and I can give him a personality. He already has so much personality. But he definitely has a whole bunch of crevices. So I'm doing my best to get it cleaned up, but these resin pieces a lot of time will have that hole in the bottom. So if you immerse them in water, you're going to get water stuck in there. And I don't want to have to deal with water stuck inside something. So I'm just going to take the air compressor and clean them off as the best as I can. I'm going to flip them over and you can see that residue that was left over from a tag. So we're just going to use a little bit of lemon oil, then that should start to disintegrate it. Well, he's already 100% better, but I want to give him a rock look. Like, I'm thinking that's my goal. So we have some of the wood wick, which is a lighter than the chocolate that I used earlier by Fusion. So this is going to be just a layering process to really give it that rock look. Yeah, you can tell that parts of it look like they were supposed to be hammered and carved. The face was supposed to be carved, but I love the steampunk vibe it has going on with the glasses just sitting at the tip of his nose and his pouty lip that he's got going on. Oh my gosh. And just the big wrinkles in the cheeks. Oh, just everything about this piece I fell in love with. So I did say I was just going to keep layering until I was achieving the look. It's just all about playing. I mean, sometimes you have this vision and you know right off the bat, I'm going to use this, this, and that, and I'm going to achieve this. But on some of the pieces, it's just how it is. You're like, I could do a little bit better. I could do a little bit better. Like, you know, So now I'm using the Lantern's milk paint that I had used previously in the video. It was sitting there, so I'm like, you know, I like the brown on there, but I want to see all these different tones. You know, a rock usually isn't just one color. It's multiple colors. So just using the stock that I have on hand. And yeah, I like the milk paint because it's almost like a translucent, especially on that first coat, that I can still see that wood wick underneath. For some reason, I seem to have mixed this batch up a little bit runnier than, yeah, sometimes that happens. You're like, you think you're doing the proper ratio, and the next thing you know, you either got it too thick or you got it too thin. But I didn't mind the thin, so as soon as I got a section on, I just went ahead and took the heat gun and then started to dry it so I wouldn't get any of those drip marks. I did decide to go in with 2 coats. I think I like the way that it's popping the details a little bit more. It's all about layering. It's all about layering, y'all. It'd be nice just to have a textbook like do this, do that, do this, achieve this look, do that, do this to achieve this look. But as we DIY crafters know, yeah, that doesn't always work. I did play around with his glasses a little bit, putting some of the woodwork back on his glasses to pop that detail, but I decided because I had milk paint, it was really kind of making it invisible, so I needed to get that sealed in first with some of the weather defense, and I'm going to use some of the patinas to pop these details more. So the glasses did, like I said, the glasses had some of the woodwork on there, but because it was milk paint, it was, the milk paint was kind of mixing with the paint, darkening it up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go in with some of the patinas. My go-to for anything in popping details is always a rust patina. Don't worry, I'll link everything I use down below, but if I do forget, please let me know. There's something about bringing out details that really makes you feel like an artist. I really feel like a Bob Ross here when, like, oh, a little dab here, a little dab here. Okay, now I'm gonna go over here a little bit. It just, yeah, you really feel like an artist. And if you think it's too dark, then layer something over it to tone it down. And there's really no wrong way to do this. Of course, my main objective is to bring out all these carved details that somebody had put in here. Those are the areas I want to emphasize. But see, the closer you get, oh my gosh, that rust is just bringing it out. Just, oh, I love every bit of it. So why not add a little bit of this other patina? Now this is just a blue from the Gilders Wax. And then you put them on top of each other. Now, I notice when I use the rust, it kind of oxidizes, so changes and gets brighter. And then you add these two together, and you kind of get a green going on when you overlay them. You'll still get that blue where there isn't the rust red, but yeah, you'll have like 3 different colors because it'll mix and kind of give you that third color. So it's really giving you that mineral look going on this piece. Then when I finally get it to my liking, I'm going to seal it in with weather defense. I would personally keep this on my front porch or in my house, not necessarily outside anymore, but that's just me. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and let me know down in the comments below, have I inspired you to look at secondhand finds in a new way? And of course, which one of the items I made over today were your favorites? And as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you stayed to this part of the video, I think you enjoyed it. And if you're not part of our YouTube family, smash that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know when I've uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.